We've skied well over 70 different mountains in our lifetimes. That's a lot of lifts, trails, scenery, facilities, and a whole lot of everything else too. So when it comes to picking favorites, it can be pretty difficult to narrow it down. However, choosing a favorite ski area in one specific region is much easier. So today, we're covering our favorite ski resort in each region that we've skied. We'll go ahead and start in the heart of it all, where this channel started and inarguably the best skiing region in North America, the great state of Colorado. While you might think Arapahoe Basin is the obvious choice here, I would actually say that our favorite resort overall in Colorado is Snowmass. Snowmass offers an incredible variety of terrain, with great groomers, trees, and some solid extreme offerings as well. The one area it does struggle with terrain-wise are moguls, but there are several solid finds in the Sam's Knob and campground areas for those too. It doesn't see the same crowding that its Summit County counterparts do, and while it can still see some lift lines, its lifts themselves are top of the line with lots of recent and future investment taking place. The notable downsides to Snowmass are its difficulty of access and cost, as it's a long drive from the Denver metro and is in the ever-lucrative Aspen Quartet. When focusing on the skiing itself, though, Snowmass doesn't leave much on the table. Next, let's slide one state over into Utah. While our experience is fairly limited here, between only Little Cottonwood, Park City, and Deer Valley, we have a clear, strong favorite. That's Alta. Alta is known for its excellent snow first and foremost, and you certainly can't get past that. Notably, that snow can draw out some extreme crowds, but if you hit it at the right time, the resort is only 30 minutes away from Salt Lake City. While it's not massively expansive like Park City or Deer Valley, Alta still offers just about everything you could ask for terrain-wise. While it may be more well known for the off-piste of the High Traverse or Devil's Castle, Alta's groomer game is surprisingly strong, with a good learning progression and interesting blues and blacks to keep everyone entertained. The extremes are no joke either. The lifts are excellent, and so is the atmosphere. On paper, Alta shouldn't be as well known as it is, but when you're on the snow there, you feel something special. Moving even further west, next up is Lake Tahoe. Our favorite resort in the Lake Tahoe region is Kirkwood. While the Lake Tahoe region is home to several heavy hitters, Kirkwood wins for the combination of incredible extreme terrain and minimal lift lines. Across the entire mountain, the sheer amount of expert terrain you have easy access to is incredible, from the legendary steeps off the wall and cornice to the more hidden gems in the Thunder Saddle area. The key thing about Kirkwood is that the advanced and expert terrain is everywhere, accessible from practically every single lift. You just don't get that at other mountains. Kirkwood is also no slouch when it comes to terrain for lower abilities. It's home to some of the most underrated cruisers in the region. The mountain isn't without faults though, and other mountains such as Palisades Tahoe have even more extreme terrain with significantly better lift infrastructure. Heavenly and Sugar Bowl are other very strong competitors in the region, but it's hard to beat the experience you'll have at Kirkwood, and on the days when those other resorts are slammed with crowds, you'll especially appreciate just how quiet Kirkwood stays. While it doesn't fit into a category, we'd also like to give a quick mention to Mammoth. Similarly to Snowmass, Mammoth has incredible terrain variety and very solid lift infrastructure across most of the mountain. It receives vast quantities of snowfall and has excellent extreme terrain offerings as well. It only gets knocked for crowds and difficulty of accessibility. Let's now head up north and talk about Western Canada. Of the places we've been in the region, Sunshine Village stands out as the favorite. This might come across as a bit controversial, but Sunshine Village offers a fantastic experience for skiers of all levels. It has some of the strongest beginner terrain in North America, very scenic intermediate terrain, and great bumps and trees. But where Sunshine Village really stands out for us is in its freeride zones. Delirium Dive and the Wild West don't feel like anything you'd find inbounds at other resorts. The terrain through these gates is incredibly unique. And of course, you can't forget the views. They provide an ambience that's simply unbeatable at many other mountains, and not solely when you're on the mountain. Banff is Banff, and you won't forget it while you're there. So while Lake Louise might be considered more well-rounded and Revelstoke is considered more extreme, Sunshine Village has so much going for it that it's our favorite ski resort in Western Canada. Moving back into the US, let's discuss the Northern Rockies. We've only checked out 4 mountains, but out of Big Sky, Grand Targhee, Jackson Hole, and Sun Valley, Grand Targhee has to be the choice. Targhee has an unparalleled combination of terrain variety, high-speed lifts, and no crowds. I won't say too much more lest the locals start telling me to shut up in the comments, but if you've watched the channel for a while, you know this has been a favorite for a while, and that's for a reason. Next up, let's go to a less likely skiing destination, the Midwest. Of all the places we've checked out, Mount Bohemia is our favorite here. Boho, as it's called by locals, excels in very challenging tree terrain. This is something you just don't get pretty much anywhere else in the Midwest. The front side is home to classic, long, fall-line tree skiing, while the extreme backcountry is home to some of the most consequential lines you can find in this part of the country. The snow quality is also quite good, given the lake effect it sees from nearby Lake Superior. The vibes at Boho are incredible. The place has managed to stay independent of all the big mega passes and retain the character that made it special in the first place. Boho isn't great for non-experts though, and other places like Granite Peak offer more well-rounded terrain for lower ability levels. It's also incredibly remote compared to other mountains near metro areas. That said, Mount Bohemia is not only one of the most unique experiences you can have in the Midwest, but genuinely one of the most unique experiences you can have in North America. Out on the US East Coast is a whole different experience than the West Coast, but that hasn't stopped us from experiencing it too. This one is a tie. While Whiteface offers an experience that rivals the Rockies in many ways, Sunday River leans into what makes the East Coast uniquely itself. Other strong contenders include Mad River Glen and Waterville Valley. In essence, though we've skied 11 mountains on the East Coast, it's still difficult to choose a specific one. Gun to our head, however, it would be Sunday River. Sunday River has the quintessential East Coast groomers, but with the buoyant flair of ridiculously fancy or entirely neglected lifts. It doesn't get as busy as resorts like Loon, and has a surprisingly extensive footprint that you might not expect for an East Coast resort not named Killington. Their snowmaking is strong and only getting better, and the facilities are quite adequate. Over at Whiteface, the vertical drop just can't be beat. The groomers are solid, the snowmaking is aggressive, and the views and vibes are excellent. However, Whiteface has a few key weaknesses in its perennially frigid and foggy weather and its slow lifts on the upper mountain. Nevertheless, every ski resort we've visited on the East Coast has provided a novel, unique experience, and we've enjoyed each and every one of them. Except maybe Okemo. That one's debatable. That's all of the regions we've extensively visited in North America, but we've still got 2 regions to cover. First up is Europe. To be completely honest, we haven't visited much here, just Zermatt, St. Moritz, and Three Valleys. But that latter one, Les Trois Vallées, absolutely runs away as the favorite in Europe. While it can get crowded, Les Trois Vallées is so expansive that it would take several weeks just to ski every piste. And that's only the marked stuff. Skiing isn't always about size, but Three Valleys makes it that way. There's something special about being able to ski for 5 days and hardly ever repeating the same run. Oh, and the views and high-speed lifts everywhere aren't bad either. Three Valleys is susceptible to those visibility-reducing cloud fronts, and its huge vertical drop can lead to a mix of snow conditions across the domain. Nonetheless, if you want groomers for days and some more on top of that, Three Valleys beats anywhere else in the world. Finally, we have a little throwback to New Zealand. Out of the 6 mountains in New Zealand, Mount Hutt is our favorite, which may be a bit of a surprising or unpopular opinion. Mount Hutt is essentially a bowl, but the difference between it and many other Kiwi ski fields is that they groom a huge portion of Mount Hutt. It features some excellent steep groomers, a handful of gnarly chutes, and excellent beginner terrain. Outside of the tower's triple, the lifts are excellent, and of course, if you want a classic off-piste bowl skiing experience, there's no better place than Mount Hutt. Throw all of those in together, a view out over the farmland all the way to the coast, and the easy access from Christchurch, and you have yourself a winner. An occasional off-season freak storm that allows them to open for a day in February doesn't hurt either. Alright, so there you have it. Our favorite ski area in every region we've skied. We'd love to hear all of your thoughts about our selections down below, and we'd love to hear what your favorites are too. A shout out to this channel for correctly guessing the mystery run in Colorado has a ski lift problem. If you'd like to be shouted out in a future video just like this, keep an eye out for mystery runs and guess them in the comments below. There will be one in next week's video. As always, thank you all so much for watching. All my love, I'm out.